Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. I'm here to work on some pages in my latest project, which is Journeys Through Bookland. So welcome. If you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you'll subscribe. If you're one of my returning subscribers, thank you very much and for your support. Let's get going. What I decided I wanted to do was to take some of the book pages from the book and put them in, but I don't want all writing on all of them. I don't mind having some because, you know, I can always use this for a tuck or a pocket or something like that, but I didn't want all of them. Plus, it's a little bit, there's some pretty big holes in here. So that means I have to support that. Now I can either do it with washi tape, which I will do on this or some of them, and I will, or I will put something across this whole page, which will then support that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now I did already cut these pages down just a little bit. They were a little bit too big. My signature pages are a little smaller than the original book pages. So I cut this to 5 across and 7 3/4 tall, like all my other papers that I did. So I'm going to show you, and again, this is thanks to Catherine Brown Clarke of Sunnyside Journals. I learned so much from her. She gave this, or did this in one of her journals, and I thought I would give it a try. And since I'm making 2 journals the same, I'm going to keep one, and then that'll be my idea book. So, this one, I think, I like that drawing. I think what I'm going to do is put a piece of this over here. It'll support it a little bit, although this is pretty good for being this old a paper. It's 120 years old or something like that. When I did the fold test to see, I folded it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it did not rip off, which I was amazed. They must have used a much better paper back then. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this, and I want to have torn edges on it, or at least edges torn from a ruler. And I think what I'll do first is get it a little closer down to size so that I can tear the edges and it'll be okay. So I'm going to use a ruler and tear them down with the ruler, and we'll see what happens. And while I'm doing that, I hope everybody had a great Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. And I certainly did. I had a great day. We had lasagna. It was really nice. We had my husband's sister and her husband over, and our son and his husband over. And we just had such a nice day. And we had a group come over the Tuesday before Thanksgiving that we belong to, and they wanted to come here for Christmas. And I'll save these, never know. And I thought, you know, we wanted to have the Christmas decorations up. If you didn't see my video, I just kind of made a quick video showing my husband's carvings and our trees and all of that type of thing. So I wanted to be able to have all that decorating done. If you're going to do it, you may as well have people over. And then what happened, So, okay. So we went and decorated before Thanksgiving. We had everything up the Tuesday before Thanksgiving because that's when they came over. So, anyway, that actually made it so much more relaxing in December because everything like that was done, all the decorating. So my son came over and we made Christmas cookies and candies, and he came over a couple days when he had off of work, and we did that together. We used to always do that when my kids were little, and that was one of the things when we told Jake we were moving down to Florida. He's like, oh good, we can make Christmas cookies, yay! And so we've been doing that ever since we moved down here. And then I ordered presents on Amazon, and for my granddaughter up in Wisconsin, I just had them sent to her house. She's 24, so, and she gives me a wish list. And then I ordered all of the other presents we needed on Amazon, except for the ones I made, and had them sent here, and then just wrapped them up. So it was like one of the most relaxing Christmases I've had in a very long time. The only other time I was that caught up and done ahead for Christmas was the year I was pregnant with Jake, who's the one who lives in Florida. And I wanted everything done before Christmas because I knew I was going to be like 8 months pregnant. Well, it ended up that he was born on Christmas Day. So I had everything done, and about 3 weeks later, it was like, I miss Christmas, and I cried. Baby blues, I guess. But that was the only other time I was that ahead on Christmas. So it was very relaxing. I really enjoyed this year. Okay, now I've got that kind of ripped to fit, and I'm going to do some distressing on the edges. This is some paper. It's actually scrapbook paper that I coffee dyed, and I dried it in the oven. And this was dried on something that had those little, we had little holes in, so then you get the little dots. I like using different things if I'm doing it in the oven. Okay, and that should fit on pretty good, and it will support that center piece then. So what I'm going to use is my glue stick, Scotch Create Permanent glue stick. This works so much better than anything else I've ever used. When I used like Yoo-hoo glue, it would come up after a while. I have not had this come up since I started using this. If I use it, if it's something that's thicker, I really need to make sure that that it's attached. I use glue, of course, but regular glue or glitter glue. But if I'm doing something like this, as long as you put a really good coat on it, it will lay down. You make sure you get a lot on the edges. I've sometimes taken art glitter glue and put it around the edge to make sure that the edges stay down, but I haven't really had too much trouble with it. So get a nice thick coat on it. I'm going to make sure I really get along the edge. All right. Now, I really like that silicone mat. I think I paid somewhere around $10 for it when I originally bought it. And I used to use book pages, and I would glue over a book page and then like bend it in half, and then I use it for something. And I would end up with all these glued together book pages, and I make a lot of things out of book pages, but I've got so many. And I thought, well, I'm going to give this a try, and this was the best thing I think that I ever bought. Now, I'm going to fold this and get my crease in here so that it's ready, and then I'll let it dry. Okay, so that one was an all-over type of thing. Another thing you can do is put washi tape on, and I did this one already. I'll show you how I do that on another one. This is the page that's going to show. And then on this side, I'm going to put some of this paper on it. Again, I'm going to try to rip it down, and I think I'll use my ruler for this one. I'm going to get just a little bit off the edge, and if I line this up with a line on my glass mat, and then go just in a little bit, like a 1/2 inch, and put it really hard on this part. It's easier to rip the big part off than the small part. Okay, and then I'm going to rip it. I want to make sure I get that part in. So maybe I'll rip from this side. Should have did that in the first place. I think this is a 9x12 paper. So I've got plenty. Now what I'm going to do is cut this one 6 1/2 tall, 4 1/4 wide, because I'm not going to put it across the spine. Otherwise it'll get too bulky. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to take a piece of this off the top. Okay. And now I've got this side already torn. I'm going to line this up so it's straight, and I want it 6 1/2. Maybe I'll do it on the smaller part again. And hold it down good. It's a little bit heavier paper, which is why I don't want it in the spine. All right. And I'm going to do it 4 1/4 this way. Get it lined up nice and straight. Alright. And then I'll do it 4 1/4 this way. Alright. Get it lined up and torn. Now I'll ink that up. So, yeah, so we still do, when my son, because he was born on Christmas, to give him his own very special day, we always celebrated his half birthday. And we say happy birthday to him on his birthday. This year he was 46. But we'll celebrate with cake and all of that type of thing and presents on June 25th. My mom had a friend who had a birthday on Christmas when she was a child, a friend she had in school. And she said that's what they did, and she told me about it, and I thought that was a great idea. Give him his own special day, especially Christmas. And even his godparents still did it. They would like give him one present and they would spend twice the money. But they, you know, a little kid, he just knows he got one present. He doesn't know how much money you spent or whatever. And he would always just feel left out if people just gave him a present on Christmas and they said, this is your birthday and Christmas. So we never did that. And to this day, he likes celebrating his half birthday. And that's a great way to do it. I think I would do it if his birthday was on any other day right around Christmas, just to make it be special. They couldn't have all come for cake and all that type of thing. Okay, now I lined it up on here, and I'm just covering over the writing so you have a place to journal. And I'm going to do the same thing with this other page. This was an experiment that I did, and I can do much better doily ones now. This was like the first time I tried it, and I did it. Didn't do it the best way to get the best the image on it. Okay, I'm doing much better at it now, but it still looks good. All right, so I'm going to line this one up and put that on. Okay, and now I've got another page. I think I'll do this one. This is some botanical, and I call it Ecodyne paper that I did. And you can see probably the flowers on it and everything, but I, again, messed up. I used kind of a thin paper, and it just, it has dents in it from the flowers. You know, it didn't turn out the best. So I don't want to use this for a page in the book, where some other botanicals I've done, Ecodyne, I can use them for pages in the book. So I am going to use this to go across here, because it is also a thinner paper. And another one of the things I did wrong was I took it out when it was still hot, and I should have left it to cool down and then taken the stuff off, because with the paper being hot, it ripped a lot easier. Oops, and this is ripping too. I gotta press down harder. You can see it falling apart. Okay. Still doing it. Maybe I'll try it this way. It usually isn't as easy to take thin stuff off, but I'm almost down to where this is. There we go. A little rougher maybe than I'd like, but that's okay. It'll have character. Okay. Going across both pages to get the stuff covered, I need to have it about 9 1/4 inches. So let's see what's here. to 9 1/4. Since this didn't rip real good, I'll try it like this. I hope everybody had as nice a Christmas as I did. And it can be hard, I know, sometimes. With our older son dying, sometimes birthday, Christmas, you know, that type of thing, it can be pretty rough. So I understand if you have loss, that it's harder. In fact, when Jake was born on Christmas, my father-in-law had died the year before, on December 23rd. I'm going to cut this one or rip this one to 6 1/2 tall. And so really, Jacob being born on Christmas was a blessing because it gave us something really, really good to think about. And my mother-in-law, she said she was so glad he was born on Christmas because it always gave her something good to think about instead of that her husband had died on December 23rd. So that actually was a good thing. Okay. I could have made that a little longer, but I knew this paper wasn't huge. Okay, which side do I want? Up. I should have tried to get that whole flower on because that was the prettiest flower. Oh well. Can't talk and chew gum at the same time either. Or walk and chew gum. Can't talk and measure. Can't walk and chew gum. Okay. So this year, because we're, you know, pretty with it, with getting things done, we watched a lot of Christmas movies. And in my Christmas journal, I always keep track of what movies we watched, at least since I started keeping a Christmas journal about 4 or 5 years ago. And we watched 33 Christmas movies. Some of them were pretty bad. There's a few we watched that I kept track of. Don't watch that one again. We still have some DVDs and even some VCR tapes of Christmas things that we had forever, and we still have a player, so that's good. Now this one I'm noticing is ripping a little bit up on the top. So I think I'm going to put some washi tape on that one anyway. It's like it did, when I bent it, it didn't, but along where it was along the edge here, it seems to be ripping. Okay, so let's see, what should I do? I think I'll put it across the top instead of down here, because I really don't need it there, but I do need to support this a little bit. So let's see. I rip this off about like this. Gonna put it on my glue stick because I want it to be permanent. The washi tape I'm using has dictionary definitions on it, and since this is like a journey through Bookland, I thought that was very fitting. Now, I'm gonna get my hat in here. I'm gonna put it down closer. I want to get it right even with the edge of the paper. Sorry if my head's in the way. There. And then I will cut this off. And I do over the middle basically the same way, but I I line up the middle with a line on my glass mat here, and then I get it straight so it kind of overlaps the same amount. But this one will have this on the top. Okay, so that one's done. I'm going to let it dry. Okay, and actually those are kind of the 3 ways I'm doing it. I'll show you putting the washi tape on this page here, and then I'll call it a day, because we will get these. My husband drilled the holes in my cutting board, so I'm going to have my book page press to put the pages in once these are dry. And then I can start decorating the signatures. I'm going to be putting some lace on some of the pages, the side pages. Oops. Okay, so I'll line up the line that is in line with the holes. Now, one thing with this is that this is bigger than a 1/4 inch. So I can't line it up with 1/4 inch on mine. I have to kind of try to guess where the middle is, which is maybe an 1/8 inch over. If I have 1/2 inch, it works perfectly to line it up with that. Okay. And cut this off. Fold it in half and see how I did. Not too bad. Okay, it's a little bit out on this side, but it's straight. So that's it. So next time when I come back, we'll start decorating some of the pages because I do want to put some lace on, and I'll get working on that, and then we'll do some ephemera, and then I'll be ready to put the book together. So this one is going kind of fast. So thanks for being with me today, and I hope the rest of your holiday is good, and I will see you in the next video. Carol from Friendly Quail saying bye.